in one hand, we are a French band because we live in France and we are French, but in another hand, we don't care really much about the French culture. I mean, we have it, but we don't want to spread it all around the world. We just feel a little bit different in France, and we are listening to some other music. Like, of course, we know a lot about like French music, but we wanted to do something more European and something more like from the world.
For us, as JB said before, when they discovered the moon, I don't think it's a great thing. I think it made me sad a little bit because it reminds me the end of innocence and when the white man arrives somewhere and destroy everything. We're obsessed by space and being lost in space and have no weight. And so it was kind of cool to explore that vibe and also to explore the real aspect of the moon. Like the moon is something where there's a lot of rocks and volcanoes, and I think Méliès has the moon as it's a fantasy vision, but then there's the real moon, and I think the rest of the album is more about the real moon.
Sometimes our music is on the edge. It's on the edge to be a little bit bad taste. Sometimes it can be like cheesy, it can be a little bit like easy listening, but or too dark sometimes, or too depressing. But we need to surf on this wave, otherwise there's no emotion.
What you're going to see today is really amazing because it's one of the most famous films that you've never seen in color. And believe me, the color, I understand Georges Méliès, who conceived his film in black and white and also in color, it gives a new dimension. It's like all his special effects. He's the inventor of special effects, and he would give a new dimension, like you could compare like from a 2D to a 3D. It gives a new dimension to that, and that's how we came, to this amazingly restored film that everybody knows, but nobody knows in color. What you're going to see is in color with an original soundtrack by Air. We're very pleased to present it here again, like we presented other films in the Institut Français. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I work for NME magazine, and I'm just here to ask a few questions of Jean-Benoit and Nicolas of Air, who I'd like to welcome on stage. How did this compare to previous soundtrack work you've done before? Obviously, you worked with Sofia Coppola, and The Virgin Suicides is quite well known.
The movie maker is dead, so so he was not here to complain or to ask for going faster. So it was a good thing. We had a lot of pressure because of Cannes actually, and we knew that Scorsese and Woody Allen would be there, and so wow.
Why have you decided to expand the soundtrack into a full album, and how does it differ from the original soundtrack we've just heard?
When the last image stopped, we were frustrated. We say, oh my God, I was just getting into it, and now it has to stop. It's like, you know what I mean? So we decided to go on for the trip. I think the two sides of a vinyl album is the perfect format for going on a trip in the music environment. We accepted to do that because we didn't feel we were betraying either a composer or betraying a masterpiece. We didn't replace the original music by our music, and that was the main reason why we accepted to put music on the top of it. Otherwise, I would have never dared to change something that has been made already before me. All the side projects that we do, we don't like to repeat ourselves, which means we accepted to do this thing because it was kind of an amazing project. I'm not sure there was something quite as amazing for a long time after that, because it was a very intense experience also.